All right, so first we need to create a new GitHub repository, and we're going to do it without making any commits. There's a page in the process that we're going to stop at, so please listen carefully. Got a lot of pictures of me on the screen right now, but let's go, and this is just in GitHub, and I'm in my repositories, and I'm going to click New. And then I'll go ahead and name it. So I'm going to make it private just because I don't want to share it with anybody right now. And then all you got to do is create the repository. And this is the page that we're going to pause at. So keep this page up. We'll come back to this page in a little bit. But let's go and get the code set up for the project first. All right, time to use the sample code to get our project started. I'm going to slide this over a little bit. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code as my IDE, but you can use whatever you prefer. And then here's the sample code. I'm just going to drag and drop it in here. Awesome, looks good. And then I'm going to open up a terminal. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm in the root of my project, which I am right now. And I'm going to run npm install just to install all the dependencies. Okay, looks like it's installing here. And then there's going to be one more place that you need to install the dependencies on the back end. So if we go into Amplify, backend, function, Plunk lead gen lambda, and then go into SRC, we'll see there's npm used here. So we're going to cd into there. Amplify backend function, Plunk lead gen lambda, SRC, and then we'll hit enter, and then we'll do npm install again. Okay, awesome. So now that's kind of the first step in getting the code set up. And now in the next step, we'll connect the project to GitHub, the repository that you just made, so that later on we'll be able to save our project in AWS and connect the AWS project to the GitHub repository. All right, let's get our code into our new GitHub repository so we have somewhere to store it. First thing I'm going to have you do is go back to that page that I said to kind of leave open earlier, and we're going to copy this HTTPS URL, copy that, and then we're going to go back into our terminal. You're going to want to cd back into the root of it. Okay, so now I'm back into the root of it. And then you're going to go through these following commands in order to get your first commit and push it to your new GitHub repo. So first thing you do, git init and name. And then we can do git add and then git commit. This is whatever you want it to be. This is just your first commit message. And then git remote add origin. And now we want to paste in our URL. All right, git remote add origin looks good. And then this is going to just verify the new remote. Looks good. Lead gen example v1. Yep, that was the name of my repository. And then I can push it. Okay, sweet. And then we'll go back to the repo, go back to the code, view code. Awesome. Now you can see that it's in my repository, and we've completed connecting the two, the project and your repository. Sweet. So in the next step, we'll be working on setting up AWS in the back end. So we'll go there now. All right, so next we're going to configure the AWS Amplify backend. I'm going to be using the CLI tool for AWS Amplify. And if you don't have that downloaded, I would suggest you do that as well. The command to download it is just npm install -g at aws-amplify/CLI. I'm not going to run that though, because I already have it downloaded. To do, then the next thing we'll do is go Amplify configure. So this will open up a new tab. And then if you have an account, you'll sign in. Otherwise, you'll need to create an account. All right, and now I'm signed in. And we're going to go back to the terminal for a second and hit enter. Enter. I'm in US West 1. And my username is going to be Steve. Beep. So now we're going to create this user. So we can type in username, and then we're going to attach policies directly. Let's open this up a little bit more so we can read. The only one that you're going to need is this administrator access amplify, and then you can click next, and then create user. Okay, and then we're going to go into the user. We're going to go into security credentials, and we're going to go down to access keys. We're going to create an access key. We'll go to command line interface. And then I'm just going to put my access key. Create the access key. Now don't hit done yet. There's a button over here that says done. Don't hit that yet. We need to first make sure that you've copied both of those into a place where you can store them. So I'm going to copy that because we're going to use those in a second. And these are probably going to be blurred just so you guys aren't seeing them. And so I've copied them, and then I'm going to go back to the terminal and hit enter. See, it's going to ask us for that access key. Oop. All right, and then paste that in there, and then the secret access key. Paste that in there, and then profile name. This can be whatever you want it to be. Awesome. And now I'm set up there. Now we're ready to initialize Amplify. Just make sure I got it. Yep, looks good. All right, I'm going to select dev as my environment, and then I'm going to select the correct AWS profile, hit enter, and you'll see that the initialization was successful. And the last thing that we need to do is Amplify push. And it's going to ask us to input the SES email. This will be the email that you'll be emailing from to leads. You can put your email in there, and then you'll be good to go. On to the next step. All right, so we're ready to start configuring Amazon Simple Email Service. And let's slide that over. An easy way to get to the AWS console is just do an Amplify console. Then you can go to AWS console, open it up in your browser for you. And then we're going to want to search simple email. There it is. Let's get this a little bit bigger. And then, drag that. All right, so we're going to want to go first to verified identities. And then you're going to want to go to create identity. There's going to be the email address that you're sending from. Enter that same email address. And then we'll do create identity. Now you're going to be given an email or sent an email. And in that email, you're going to have to verify the email address. So go and do that. All right, so I went and clicked on the verification link in my email, and now I refresh the page. It looks like I'm verified. And then we're going to want to copy this ARN. And then we will go in our code to this file here that says Plunk lead gen lambda cloud formation template JSON or template.json. Okay, so we'll go here. And then we want to go to line 208. Let's see here. Where is it? Here it is. Here. Get rid of that. Put that in there. Hit save. And then we're going to do the Amplify push to commit our changes. And it's going to ask you, do you want to continue? And just hit Y again. So this will take a little bit. And then once it's done pushing, you'll be done with this step. And in the next step, we're going to go over how to store the API key using AWS Secrets Manager. And so let's go there now. One thing I should mention before we move on to storing our API key is back on the simple email service dashboard. I'm just on the account dashboard here, and there's a little warning here that says, basically my SES account is in sandbox mode. That means I'm not going to be able to actually send emails to leads until I request production access. I'm not going to do that right now just because this is just for testing purposes. But just know that you will need to do that in order to actually be able to send emails to leads. And so this will also explain why if you're in the Amplify folder and you go down and into the Lambda code and into app.js, you'll see that in this post route, I'm actually sending every email to myself. So this you would have to change to whatever the user inputted, but you wouldn't be able to do so until you've requested production access. So just a little bit more depth in terms of understanding how that will work. All right, time to set up AWS Secrets Manager with our API key. So we'll do the Amplify console again in order to get into the browser. And then you'll just need to search secrets. There it is. Okay. You'll see I already have one there, but I'm just going to show you how you can do it. So you'll click Store a New Secret, and then you'll click Other Type of Secret because we want to use an API key. For the key, please use this API key value. And then you'll want to put your API key as the value. This will be blurred out. And then you hit next. let's see, we gotta make this a little bigger, sorry. Okay, we'll hit next. And then the secret name, please use php-api-key. It'll just be so you don't have to change things in the code. It'll already be there. And then that's it there. Just hit next. Oh, so it's saying that this key already exists. Basically, you'll keep hitting next until you create the key. So you should be okay. I think that's it. What you'll want to do though is go to your secret, and you're going to want to copy the ARN. And then if we go into our code, we can go to the same Plunk Legion Lambda cloud formation, and we'll go to line 167. 167, here we are, and then go here, paste in our ARN. Awesome, and then we need to do push again. With that, you should be all set up. Yeah. Okay, in the next step, we will test the app locally, see how it's running and if it's working. So let's go and do that next. All right, we're ready to test the app locally. We're going to use an NPM script to get this started. One thing just to note, make sure that you've committed any changes and push them into your GitHub repo. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. And then once you're done with that, let's do NPM start. So open up a new tab in the browser. And this might take a little while the first time you do this. So just a forewarning there. Okay, great. Looks like it's showing up how we'd expect in the browser. You can put in an address. Awesome. And then an email. Great. Looks like that's showing up, and looks like I just got an email. So perfect. Now we're ready to go to the next step, in which we'll deploy the app using AWS Amplify. All right, now we're ready to deploy the app using AWS Amplify. So we're going to go to console. And then let's go back to the hosting environments. We're going to choose GitHub since we put a repository of our code in GitHub. Connect the branch. You're going to be prompted to select a repository, and you'll be asked permissions or to give permissions to all of your repositories or just one. And then you'll be able to choose the repository. And then you'll hit next. And then we'll pick our environment. And then we'll go to create a new role. And we'll go to permissions. Yep. And then we'll go to create role. And then let's go back here. Now we can go to our new role. We'll hit next. We'll hit save and deploy. Now this will take a little while because it's going to have to provision and then build and deploy. But then this will be the URL that you'll use in order to get to that app. So this will be essentially the domain. And whenever you push and commit changes to the GitHub repo, just know that this is going to provision and do a rebuild and a redeploy anytime you do that. So it'll stay up to date as long as you're pushing your changes to GitHub. So That's it for the tutorial. Thank you for following along, and look forward to seeing what you guys make based off of this. Thanks.